Hi guys, this is a very brief introduction to designing a forest within minutes. All you need to do is press numpad 1. If you don't have numpad 1, the squiggly line on the top left corner below the escape button and choose front so that it shows front orthographic view. Once you've done that, press X, delete the default cube. You don't need it. The only plugin that you need, which is free, click over here, click preferences, click add-ons, make sure that this is not selected, and make sure you spell tree correctly and tick that. If this is ticked on, the add curve sapling tree gen, you can close that. And it said it's a curve, so if you press Shift A and you go to curves, a new curve appears, which is called a sapling tree gen. Let's select that, and boom, just like that, we have created a tree. And we can make as many trees as we like, but you probably want a little bit more control of the trees you make. So if you didn't select anything, you can click this over here. And number one, we could play around. I'm first going to show you how to load presets. You could load a preset, for example, you might want a Japanese maple. And by the way, if you're wondering where the leaves are, you can just click over here, go to leaves, and say show leaves. And if you don't like the size of these Japanese maple leaves, you can increase the scale to something that's a little bit more reasonable. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that actually looks very nice. And you can also mess with the shape of the tree. For example, change how it splits. So maybe you want the base to split only once, and you want the leaves to split only once as well. Maybe let's try twice. 3 times. 3 times is a bit much. And if you've got a potato PC, you don't want to do too much, but let's leave it like that. Let's play around with the base quickly. Just see how it looks with 2 I mean. It's got 3 splits, but it's 2 splits, 3 branches. There we go. So I'm quite happy with this Japanese maple. And by the way, if we go back to geometry, we can choose a whole bunch of other presets. Click on them, play around with them, choose one you like. But your next question might be, how do we color this in? Well, that's cool. Or how do we take this to the next step? Well, all you have to do is you can minimize that. You can select the base, for example, over here, and we can color it in. Now we can go to materials. We're going to add a material, and you could, if you've got a custom material, you can use it. Or if you just want to see how to add materials, I'm just going to do that over here quickly. You can choose a material. I'm going to choose something weird like blue. I'm going to make sure that we've got material selected, and then I'm going to choose the leaves. And because that's weird, why not make the leaves weird as well? And this is going to be some sort of crazy blue tree. And one thing I'd like to do is change this to emission, so that whatever color I choose, it almost glows. The base doesn't glow, just the leaves glow, based on the preset that I have here. I'm just seeing what color might work. Once you find a color that you like, you know what, I'm going to leave it on white. You can go to the render view to see how this looks, because now shadows are affected, and you can even click on this over here. If you don't like this position, many of my tutorials show you how to do Control-Alt numpad 0. Select the camera, move it in place, and we want to reduce the focal length just to get it in frame. And just like that, we've created a beautiful space Japanese maple. It's as easy as that. Now, if you want to create another tree design, the first thing you want to do is you want to select your existing tree, press Shift and select your leaves as well, and press G, X. You can just move it to the side so it's out of the way. Deselect it, press Shift A, go to curve, sapling tree gen, and you can load a preset if you like, or you can play around with the settings. Normally working with the preset is a lot faster. So let's work with a willow. That's an interesting tree. Now that we've got a willow, the next thing we want to do is go to leaves and make sure it shows leaves. And now that we've got leaves, we probably just want to increase the scale. Oh, let's keep this on 0.8. And It's as easy as that. And also, just to show you one more thing, you can paint this one as well, which we'll do in a sec. If you want to copy this, you can just press Shift D. However, that creates a new tree, and that could be quite heavy. Let's Control Z. You can also create arrays. There are many ways to duplicate this. Normally, I would just duplicate this. You could do it in edit mode. The problem with duplicating this in edit mode is Shift D. Is that now when you move the one tree in object mode, you're moving both the trees, and that's no good. So yeah, so that's just one drawback that is worth keeping in mind. Right, so let's quickly paint this over here and press Tab, and make sure we're in object mode. Select the base, and let's choose a random color. This time let's make the branches have an emission. So we're going to choose the emission, and we're going to choose like a brown. And then we're going to click on the leaves, and we are going to choose a standard bright green, and then we're going to deselect that, and we're going to see how it looks in our camera shot. I don't necessarily like this emission. I would honestly go into our shader. I'm going to create wood for you soon, just to show you how to do it. That's a little bit too long for this tutorial. But in short, hopefully this has helped you to create your own forest and have fun with this new application. And yeah, please like and subscribe.